Okay, this is the second video for improving conversions. So Tom, this is one of the products you've modified?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you have more content that you can come up with for this?
Well, I'm sure there's always more stuff you can write about it. Just, what kind of content?
Here's the thing. This is good. Like this image here is good.
Mm-hmm.
What I would prefer to have also is the best thing we could do is let me just kind of give you a list of things. I'll write it down for you too, so this way you have it. So the first thing is this image here, where you show that your rotors have that no edge.
Right.
It's a bit confusing because, in other words, we look at images first, then we read about the images.
Okay.
And the reason why I said it's confusing because so basically you're saying this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, and this is good, but it doesn't clearly say that this is us and this is the competition.
Okay.
And because you're having this as the first thing, what you're doing is you're creating a negative emotion without clearly defining your solution or creating a positive emotion. In other words, I'm saying, okay, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. I'm not sure if this is good or not. I guess it is since it's not red. Let me read this thing to figure out what the hell is going on here. So what I would suggest is actually this image is good, but I would take this image,
Mm-hmm.
put it together with this one. There's no reason to have it as two.
Okay.
Clearly say this is SP performance rotors, and maybe have like a green area here, like highlight this in green to indicate that this is good.
Okay.
And then this one you would make it like with a red background and say this is the competition, and maybe even I believe I went over this in the first meeting. I said that factual information is not very good if that's all you have. So, you have not only is this factual information, but this is also like technical information, right? You're saying a high stress and heat buildup area forms at the intersection of the router and drilled edge. It's not in simple English.
Okay. So
And I think that since this document is more for the end consumer and not a manufacturer or whatever,
this was done by SP for their customers.
which is fine. I'm just saying that the way the ad is made, this is good. Theoretically, we could leave this information, but then we have to go and put it in simple English. Now, when we do something in simple English, we also have to put some emotion involved in it, which means, to rephrase what it says here, when you're driving on the highway and there is a state trooper clocking you for the speed and you floor your brake, the amount of stress and heat that's going to build up on your rotor because of these sharp edges, you're going to completely kill your brake pad when you do that a few times, and then you're going to have to go change your brake pads, right? And then with our rotor, we don't have that, so you can brake all you want, and it's not going to kill your brake pad. It's going to have more use in it, but it's not going to completely destroy it because of these sharp edges.
Gotcha. Okay, I see what you're saying.
So it needs to be simple English. The other thing is you have a lot of text here, and text is good, but after 300 words, you can create what I call a pitch deck. A pitch deck is like a marketing document. It could be like 30 pages long with a specific outline explaining your product, which would be great for SP. If SP can do that, that's great. And
So you're saying the text should actually be smaller amount of text?
not even smaller, but what I'm suggesting you do is actually create like an infograph type of ad, like something like this.
I thought, I could have done that, but I thought we needed the text there for the search engine.
We do, but we don't need that much.
All right.
The thing is, you can take this text, don't delete it, obviously, like you already did it. Take this text and make an article out of it, because you're not, this is more of an information article, like, hey, how do you choose good rotors, stuff like that. When you're talking about the product, we just want to make this very visual and emotional. We still want to pass the information to the logical buyer, but there is no need to make it boring, because this is boring right now.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
So what I'm suggesting is, and you can probably even get someone on Odesk to use this type of format and do it like for $50 and do an ad for SP with all your information. So basically it'll have this image pointing out that this is SP, this is the competition, then take whatever content is here, make another idea for an ad, right? So this is going to be like a multi-ad. We don't have to make it like one long image. We can make it multiple images, but each image has a purpose. So this purpose is to point out these holes here, that there is no edge, and that it's made in the USA. This one is to point out the problem that you'll have with hard edges and these are soft edges. This is fine, but I would probably make it like paraphrase what I said and make it very like simple English. Like, okay, so this introduction could say, because this is like boring stuff. Brake rotors above the rest and quality performance. I mean, like who the hell reads this stuff? But if you wrote something like a really catchy headlines, be ready for the state trooper's laser gun, right? When you have have a headline like that, and you're gonna get their attention, and then below it, right? Because they started reading that, like, oh, what is that, right? And then they're going to start reading it, and you're going to say here, when you're driving down the highway and you're blasting the music and you're driving 80 miles an hour and you go around the curve, and next thing you know, you see these blue and red sirens pointing right at you, and the state trooper is pointing a laser gun at you, and you slam the brakes. Next thing you know, your car is not stopping. And you get a ticket, right? To avoid this from happening, you need to get rotors not only cross-drilled and slotted, but also the ones that are not going to create the high heat and stress on it, which is actually going to decrease the stopping power and kill your brake pad in the meantime.
Okay.
And SP rotor achieves that. So here's ours, and here's the competition, right? Because you have it vice versa. You have boring headline, boring sub-headline, then you have negative emotion with technical data, and you're assuming people know what SP means, right? Because SP is the SP performance rotor, but it doesn't clearly say that, so it says SP. You know what I'm saying? Like it just like what is this? Like it's very confusing.
Right. Okay.
Now all of this turns into an image. Do not use these little images. If you're already using these kind of nice fancy images, just get a nice fancy image of a rotor, and get a nice fancy image of like a video, right? Like a screenshot of a video, so it's the same size. You know, if you're already doing it this route, just do it all the way.
Okay. Well, I know we said that at some point you were going to give me somebody to make a template for me.
Well, this is fine. You know what? You don't even need that, because you can make a template based on just a bunch of images, just like this. This is fine.
All right.
I mean, a template would be better, because then the search engine sees the description, right? Because you can actually have images and text in like, CSS. But you know what? This description and this title is fine. You can have a 300-word description about the product somewhere on the very bottom.
Okay, so should it be descriptional about the product, or like the text? Should it be more like informational stuff, or?
Here's how you should do it to make the.
I'm talking about the physical text that I put in the ad.
Right. So the physical text, what you need to do is this. You can either record yourself, or you can do this manually. Take a picture of who you think your customer is. I'll just type a random name and just put a picture in front of you, right? And imagine you're talking to him on the phone, and explain your product to him the way you do it on the phone.
Okay.
And then obviously think of it that this is like a little bit of a pain type of customer, where he just doesn't stop asking you questions. So maybe you want to have all the questions ready of how you're going to address them, but basically you're going to speak the answers, and then you're going to listen to what you said, and you're going to put that information into the ad, because we want to make this more of in other words, we want to make you the ad the way you would handle a phone call. We would want to put all that information into this nice visual emotional ad on the website.
I'm saying on the text part or on the picture part?
But
I don't think you're understanding what I'm asking. You told me to put about 300 words of text. That
right.
Text should be, informational text, or
just something unique about the rotors, whatever. It could be either or. Yeah. What I was going to say, to make things even easier, imagine you have a customer calling you,
mm-hmm.
and you want to show him your product, your SP rotor product, right?
Right.
Now, you probably find yourself doing this now anyway. You probably find yourself doing stuff like this. Hey, go to this site, look at that. Let me tell you a little bit more about it. It has rounded holes instead of instead of the edges. It has this, and that, right? You're trying to describe something that the customer can see, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to visually describe something to him. So instead of visually describing it, you tell him, go to my website, click on this button, and let me just walk you through this whole thing. In the first picture, you'll see the rotor, you'll see those round holes. So this way, as you're talking about the ad, the picture supports what you're saying.
Gotcha.
This way, not only is it going to be easier for you to do the sale on the phone, but you're actually taking your sales pitch onto the web without being present on your website, right? Because it's an ad.
Right. So basically, I do have all that information there. I just got to make it shorter and more emotional, more to the point.
And visual.
And visual, yeah.
So
Okay.
pictures, shorter, so you don't have a bunch of text, and put some. When I say emotional, you don't want to use like boring factual information. You want to actually describe a story. Everything should be a story anyway.
Okay.
When you talk about a product, people don't want to listen to 1,000 words of information. They want to listen to stories. You can talk about a story of somebody driving and having a certain situation, right? Like that state trooper story that I gave you a second ago.
Right, okay.
Now, once you have all this ready, right, you're going to have a nice, very convincing piece of content about SP rotors.
Okay.
And at that point, I believe you asked me, what can we do with marketing? And we can do a lot with marketing once your copy is that convincing where you can easily close a sale on the phone. And in other words, if I'm going to, ask you, Tom, if I go to this site right now, do you have anything to add to what I'm going to see here? If you can answer no, everything is here. There's nothing else I can add to why you should buy these rotors, then we're good to go for the next step to market the product.
What you pointed out, definitely there's more that can be done.
Yeah. Also, in the first video, I noticed you didn't do any of that. I told you to create more calls to action on the website itself. I don't remember exactly what I said, but I think you didn't do any of those, did you? You just focused on this for now, right?
I put the banner on. The banner wasn't there, the rotating banner.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, I see it. Yeah.
I changed the header. I had a few cars in there. You told me to remove that.
Right. Okay, what I think we should do is, I noticed you added a coupon code, right?
Yeah, it's been there since before, though.
Right, but what I think you should do, you can create a banner that looks like this. This is a banner that goes below the header on every single page of the website. It looks like this here.
Okay.
It can also be rotating. I think that here, it has to be a very clear call to action. So the clear call to action is this. Or you can even put on this header. It doesn't really matter. So instead of having your online performance break experts, it's going to say here, coupon code. You want to just make it a friendlier coupon code, like breaks 10 or something like that. So coupon code breaks 10 expires in 1 week for 10% off SP rotors.
And I should actually have a coupon code that they have to enter, or right now it automatically, once they put on the shopping cart, it automatically takes the 10% off.
That's fine. I mean, yeah, that's fine. You just do the work for them. But I'm saying that you should clearly indicate that you have that sale for that specific product and you should buy it right now.
I have it on the rotating banner, but it's kind of small.
Well, yeah, and so, right, it should probably flip anyway. Like, you should say, this should be the biggest thing for a limited time. Try to use very short messages, like the biggest text should say, huge text, free shipping. And then below it, you could say SB, rotors, and then how it works can be a small text. And also, I think your banner should be more promotional, and I think your headline should be the biggest thing on the page.
So let's say this one here. We'll put the free shipping big on top and the discount all the way up top in big bold letters.
Right. You can say free shipping, and then it could say SP rotors, and you can say click here, because you can actually make this clickable banner. In the settings, you can actually define different areas that could be clickable. So you can say, click here to check it out. You don't even have to put this whole big message. Just say free shipping, SP rotors, click here, and that's it.
Okay, but each banner could be clickable to a different page, or?
Yeah, you can have it. Each banner can be a different page, and you can even have multiple areas. In the tutorial, if you type in banner, it says it there, but in themes, there's a separate setting which actually specifically made for mapping clicks on the banners.
Well, I mean, since the last time when we discussed and I did all this, I am getting sales now.
Good.
I've also noticed that, I'm getting a lot more visitors on the website. So I don't know exactly what's doing it.
Right. It's probably a little bit of both.
Yeah, I am doing some advertising on Google, but I'm still not getting any conversions from Google.
Right.
You think I should still continue doing that, or?
If you want, you can pause it until you do what I said with the ad, because to me the ad is still not convincing enough. This is good. I like this, that you're pointing out, you did what I said with pointing out this holes and stuff like that, but I think you need more.
Okay, we can definitely do more.
You can also get more high quality images. If you need my account on Shutterstock, I can give that to you. I'm sure they have some high end stuff. And when I say high end, I'm talking about using like pictures of what your target market is driving. Maybe you have, a lot of F250s. You're not saying they have the rotors on, but you can just have a picture of it, right?
Right.
And when you talk about emotional cases, you can even have a picture of a state trooper, right, clocking the speed, and then you can show a car. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
Like you can show something like this, and then or a picture of this, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like get a picture of a state trooper that's relevant to a car braking, or you can maybe even type in police and then brakes. I don't know. Maybe there's a car stopping when somebody's trying to, or police laser gun. You can have or this, right? You can have that. And then that could be a part of your image, right? Like, be prepared for the state trooper's laser gun, right? And then this guy is like pointing that thing at you. You know people are gonna read that.
Yeah. Well, actually, now that we're talking about it, I got to find a picture of an accident, somebody going through the stop sign or something like that, hitting a car in front of them. That's probably
I can give you my account for a day, and you can get whatever image you need. Look at what other manufacturers are doing, and look at other ads, right? Because I'm sure that you'll find other stuff like sales pitches. Like this guy talks about increased performance, increased safety, right?
right.
And you can just have increased performance, and then you can have like a picture of a Porsche in the image driving, and then it's going to say increased performance with SP rotors. Yeah, like this one, right? So you can have something like this, cut out the image, and it can say like increased performance. So the bottom line is you just have to get a bunch of ads. They can all look like one, even though they're going to be multiple images, to talk about all these different things, like reduce costs, increase safety, and then like a simple English explanation. In other words, don't bundle all your content. Like actually headline everything. So this is a headline because curved edges. This is a headline for reliability or whatever. You know what I'm saying? This could also include that state trooper part of that one big ad.
Okay.
If you have facts, like I said, try to make this whole thing fun. So if you have some facts, like you have drilled rotors have extra grip compared to stock rotors. Let me see if there's here's images. Like look, these are like really nice like images that. Well, this is a stock rotor. This is not a. What else do you have? Drilled holes lower wear. Holes help vent gases. I just think you can make this like an ad of its own. So something like big headlines, so like facts about cross-drilled rotors, and then this could be big text, bullet point, bullet point, bullet point. So like you can have an image ad just of the fun of the facts, but you can't say it shouldn't say cross-drilled rotors facts. It should say rotor facts for SP performance cross-drilled rotors, right?
Right. Okay.
It's not every cross-drilled rotor might have this fact. Maybe they will, but who knows?
I pulled that off one of the articles that we had and just stuffed it in
Right.
there.
You can also put a video here. There's a special section for adding video in Shopping Cart Elite, and you can have a video here. You can also put more videos like rotors. Let me see. Is there anybody with actual videos about SP performance?
There's only that one that I have on there already. Well, I talked to them at SP. They're going to be working on doing some other ones.
You can just have a few videos of cars racing, right?
Even if it's not relevant to the product?
Well, it sort of is, because if you have a car racing and he's constantly braking,
Yeah.
right, you're not directly saying they're using SP performance, but from an end consumer standpoint, they're looking at the car, speeding, braking, and so on. They might assume, they might not, that it's related to SP, but the bottom line is, you have an extra video that brings some visual emotion to the customer. In other words, like racing at racetrack. If you have a video of cars actually racing from the in-dash cam,
Mm-hmm.
right? First of all, nobody says that, you never claimed it's SP or not, but there is a car racing, and you can see it braking nonstop. A consumer will probably assume this has to do with, your rotors, but in any case, I'm sure they're using cross-drilled rotors on that car. I mean, I have no doubt about it. You're kind of putting them in that state like, oh, they're racing and braking and so on, and it's relevant to your product. The whole idea here is to keep your visitor engaged, right? The longer they stay on your page, chances are that's, the longer they're considering to buy your product. So if they stay on your page for 30 minutes because you have really cool videos, they didn't just watch the videos and leave, right? They're going to come after the video's done. They're going to look at your page and look at your product and say, so do I want it now or not? And if the answer is no, maybe I want to watch another video.
Okay.
Right? So the longer they stay, the more likely they're going to buy from you. And that's why I said, make the videos, and even if they're not related to SP, just put some racing videos next to it and it'll be fine.
Okay.
Did you look at all the competitors on eBay that are doing the rotors?
Yeah.
Do they have anything? Like, see, this guy is doing like what I basically suggested. Like, have a high quality image and just a bullet line pitch. It's not great, but whatever, right? He's doing something similar to what I'm saying. Headline. Well, this is factual information, but this is what I wanted you to do, like an image like that. Let me see if there is anyone else. And your main image, your general image, can be also something like this, like free shipping, and then cross-drilled rotors, have like rotors here, and then in the middle you can have SB, or, I mean, you don't have to have it, it doesn't really matter, but something like that. See what they did? Their whole thing is image also. See, this is all like, these are all images. It's not text. You should probably look at these guys.
I did. This is one of the ones I used to base it off of.
Right. This is a good way to make the ad. So, image of the product, a few different pitches, add a few emotional stuff that I mentioned, and you'll have a better ad than them. Because they're also all about factual information. Well, let me see what they wrote here. Faster stops. Cross-drilled rotors can improve stopping power up to 35%. This is why Corvette, Porsche, Mercedes, BMW vehicle come factory direct with cross-drilled rotors, not dimpled or slotted. The fact that the drilled holes greatly improve conventional heat transfer and the resultant pad. The report also states that it's possible to have too many holes, in which cases too many cooling air would be lost before reaching the hot. You see what they're saying? They're not saying that this report is based on their product. But look what they said. They said the report states that it's possible to have too many holes, in which case too much cooling air would be lost before reaching the hottest part of the rotor. Now, it's possible that these guys I just pulled this out of their behind, and their product actually sucks, right?
Right.
But because they wrote it, they did not say their product has too many holes or not too many holes. They didn't clearly indicate that, but they mentioned it, and as a consumer, you automatically assume that their product has just enough holes, which might not be true. So you can even take this whole sales pitch and say, our product does not have too many holes. It has just the right amount, right?
Well, I do talk about that in that ad. It's just that it's under so much stuff that it's kind of hard to find it.
Right.
So I see what you're saying. So I should take pictures and then put that text next to the pictures.
And look at this, like they have FAQs about, I mean, honestly, after looking at this particular ad, which is really good, like I like this ad. I mean, you can always improve an ad. There will never be an ad which is perfect. You can always do better.
Right. Well, this is what I based mine on. I was looking at these guys, and I saw all the text on the bottom, so I figured I would have to put that in, too.
Right. Well, this is good. You need to, honestly, what needs to really happen here is you need to make a pitch deck of your product. So in other words, like this full, big marketing document, then you make it visually appealing, and then you take some pieces out of it to make your ad, and then you say, look, if you want to learn more about our product, here is a big document about it.
So the document, should I make it like a PDF with an attachment?
The thing is, there's a specific formula to use. If you want, I can show you how to do it, but I think that you don't have time to sit there and learn and implement. It's like 100 hours of work of what I just said. I think the easiest thing would be is to do your pitch the way you do it on the phone.
Right.
And then put that all into a big PDF or Word document.
Mm-hmm.
Make it look very, very nice with images and stuff, and make that a more detailed document. Because like these guys have FAQs, right? Here's a guide, here, like, who the hell needs this? You don't need all of this in the FAQ. However, you could use this as a supporting information for one of your sales pitches. So, first of all, they're linking to eBay, which is retarded. I see what they're doing. Did you see what they did? They're actually putting a guide on eBay, and then people are reading it.
Right.
and then going into their eBay store. That's pretty smart. Interesting. I've never seen that. But anyway, what I was saying is that you have these guides. These can be used to support a sales pitch. So for example, why do you want to get drilled rotors and slotted ones? Or why do you want to get cross-drilled and slotted instead of just drilled or just slotted? So here's the reason why, blah, blah, blah. And here's a supporting document to give you even more information on why, right? And then you can give them more information if they want it.
Right. So what you're saying is put a small amount of information and then put the detailed information on a separate PDF.
That would be smart. Like, especially in your case, whatever needs a very big explanation, I would make like an image type of sales pitch indicating, okay, this, and this. And then below here, we can say, if you want to know why cross-drilled and slotted are better instead of just slotted or drilled, here's a document to read. This way, it's a guide, but it's not somewhere in the bottom footer. It's actually supporting whatever ad you just pitched to them.
Okay.
Or why do you want to buy USA made instead of China? You know, like nobody wants to read that, but some people might. So you say, okay, here's a document we put together on why, or here's a video on why.
Okay. I've been getting a few phone calls, especially today. I don't know why or how. People seem to get lost in this part right here. People get stuck here and don't realize there's more to choose from. Let's start from the home page. Look up a part for a car.
Okay. How do you choose the car? You don't. Why did you remove the search by car from here?
When I put the banner on, that's what happened. I couldn't figure out why.
You must have disabled it. There's a setting to disable it. But okay, fine, whatever. So I'll click on rotors, and I'll choose a car.
Okay, what car did you choose? Okay, Acura Integra 1990, right?
Yeah.
People get stuck here, don't realize there's more options if they click down on that product. Is there any way that I could highlight that or put a...
Well, there's a setting in Shopping Cart Lead where you can say don't select the first option.
Okay, that would be good.
Yeah. Here. It's right here. See, select first choice by default. So I went to website settings, product, and here it says select first choice by default. You can turn that off.
Okay, I'll do that. Okay, so the other thing I think I need to do is clean up that notes section. When you click on it, when you click on the drop-down menu, you can see the notes. It's kind of confusing.
Position front, left, and right set. Rotor, okay.
So I'm thinking of doing a data update, or I forget what it's called.
Batch update?
A batch update to get rid of, clean all that stuff up, because I think that's confusing some people too.
Ideally, what you should put is you should enter all this information into the specification area, but it's a lot of work to do that.
That's why I did the, if you see it shows up twice, the information, because I put some in that, and then nothing was coming up under the notes. So then I added it to the notes column too.
Right.
The reason was because before I had it set up where it had the drop down, you know, when you came to this page, it showed all the part numbers.
Right.
All the different part numbers, and it showed exactly what vehicle it fit. But then I realized that it's not filtering that out just for this specific vehicle. It's putting all of them on there, which would make the page really long, so I took that out.
Right. You can do specifications for a specific part number. On the part number level, you can do that. If you go to, let me see if I can find it here.
Yeah, on the body specifications and engine specifications, is that what you're talking about?
No. Okay, you see on the part number level, you have specifications here.
Yeah.
So here you can enter more information that's relevant to that rotor, to that part number rotor.
And where would that show up?
That will show up right here.
Right, but I'm looking for a spot to put the vehicle specification into. I mean, the best place I see now is the notes.
The vehicle specifications, on each vehicle you can put a specification on there, right?
Right, because I mean, I don't have submodels set up, so I need to put it somewhere.
Right, right. You know what else I think you should do, real quick, back to your sales pitch? I think you should find one big reason why somebody should purchase your rotor versus anyone else. Like one reason which nobody talks about.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that reason is, again, I don't know if it's true or not to your product, but just from me personally buying lots of different cross-drilled rotors, if you end up buying something that wasn't tested out of production and something that's not of quality, the thing is gonna wrap on in 5,000 miles.
Right.
Or sometimes you even get it wrapped right from the door, and then you call them up and they say drive for 5,000 miles and see if it fixes the problem. And then talk about the expense that you need to go and pay for labor to switch the rotors again, even if they send you a new set.
Mm-hmm.
So just because you have that risk that you'll save $100 now or $200 now, but then get hit with that $200-$300 later and have a headache, I think that is a big enough reason to buy a more expensive product.
Right.
But that's only if it's true to your product. And if it is, then I think you should use that pitch to make this like, here is one reason why you should buy ours and not anyone else's, and here is one that nobody talks about, the one I just said.
They put something up on the SP side, which is pretty good. I think I'm going to use that. They made this thing about a parachute. You wouldn't buy a cheap parachute.
Right, yeah. Yeah, you see, and he's even using that story, right? Like, he's using the story. Yeah, I don't know why you don't use this info. This is good stuff.